Everybody been wondering, where is this man? Squash the six boss. We would have all heard the story that Squash was picked up in Florida and GUN charges. Details of the case has been outlined on various platforms that Squash was caught in a web where he wasn't really the intended target. But where Squash find himself in a boy. He bitter upon the six boss. It's not no regular thing the six boss find himself in a. I know a lot of people are rejoiced that Squash find himself in a this, because we have seen it. But like we always know, no matter what the circumstance, never rejoice when a man don't fall. Because every man have for them time and for them 12 o'clock. Every man have for them 12 o'clock. Regardless of how a man live him life, he might go face what he have to face, but at the same time, regardless of how that man live him life, and whatever fi come to him, reach him, you don't rejoice on another person. Don't fall, because for your 12 o'clock the right that they are come to. Alright. Based on reports where me see, and that is out there, public records, them say Squash was found with multiple guns in a car. And one of the popular one, the chip Glock. You understand? We could have been here as simple as we take it and here say, Squash the six boss, lose him life in a Florida. From law enforcement. People may be wondering, JAYY-Progress, why you say that Squash could have lose him life. Based on public records, it is said that Squash ending up finding himself in a little web where they have a sting operation, the FBI. And you know, say when the feds dep on your case, I don't know, play nothing. It must be that you're in a arms dealings or some big shot something for the feds them interested in you. They weren't interested in Squash, but the person that they were interested in, them see Squash and him in a dealings. Bearing in mind, if you and a man where the feds have under surveillance, in any form of dealings, you just put yourself in a hot water. Because even if the feds don't know you, the feds would have had great interest in you now because they need to find out who you is. One day if you are somebody who they didn't pick up on the radar. One day if you're a bigger person than this person with them have under surveillance. Remember, you know, when FBI have you under surveillance, anyway you drink them know. Anyway you sleep them know. Anyway you shit them know. The time when you left your yard, the time when you're going, everybody where you come in contact with, them have photograph of them have everything. The FBI them no ramp when them are run surveillance. So obviously, when them see Squash, and hear the worst thing now, when them, according to the reports, when them see Squash was in the act, allegedly being handed what turned out to be a modified Glock pistol, which we would terms in Jamaica as the mad chip Glock. Basically, when they say modify, it would have been a semi-automatic, but the modification would have turned that Glock pistol into a fully automatic pistol. You just put your finger on the trigger and everything a slide out, and them call it the chip Glock in our kind of terms. Alright. Based on reports, it said that the FBI pick up Squash on the radar doing business with this man, and he was handed allegedly the chip Glock by this man. So now, being that Squash was under their radar, or was not a part of the FBI investigation, but the person who is associated with is a part of the investigation, the FBI would have then reached out to local authority to say, we have seen this person in transaction with a person that we have on the radar. We don't want to blow the operation. We're going to let them do what they need to do and go, and you guys can intercept the car that this person I see would be traveling in. That would be Squash and his friend. Now, here the funny part now. Squash friend is driving on a suspended license. Hours a night in Florida with, based on reports, illegal firearms. That makes sense? So obviously, remember when me say, once you get in a FBI radar, first thing FBI go do, them are going to run your file. From them run Squash file, them realize that Squash do not have any status in America and them have a case in front immigration court. Them run in bridging file, them realize that in bridging have a suspended driver's license and there he's driving the car. So local authority intercept the car, but here why I say we could have stayed wherever we are and here say our popular superstar, Squash the Six Boss, is no longer among the land of the living. Him lose him life and them could have say in a confrontation with law enforcement officers in Florida. Based on reports, them say when them pull over the car, right, and approaching the car, they could see in the passenger seat in the front, Squash reaching in his waistband, bearing in mind. You get pulled over and you reach for your waistband. An immediate calling that, if a certain state, if a certain police, if a certain team. No funny move can make. No waistband reaching can make. Nothing like that. So that's why me say the artist could have lose him life based on that move there. But in Squash was apparently reaching for whatever was in his waistband to put in the glove compartment. So police roll up to the window and ask the person who was driving Squash friend, well, you have anything illegal in the car? Any firearm? No. Do you permit a search? Him say yes. But them already know say him a drive with a suspended driver's license. It's a traffic offense. So they would be pulled over on that grounds because in a foreign they know say police have to stop you for something. So all them are going to say we pull them over for a traffic offense. Because him a drive with a suspended license. How would you, this is the tricky part now when me not get to the head. How or why would you tell police officers that you don't have any firearm in the car when you know that you have multiple firearms in the car? Or would you permit police officers to a search knowing that you have multiple firearms in the car and you tell them say you don't have none? It just never add up. So me think that little part of the report there needs to clear up. It does not make no sense. But anyway, they proceeded to a search of the vehicle because they were given consent. The first place they proceeded to was to the glove compartment because they have noticed the occupant of the car and the passenger seat, which would have been Squash, reaching in his waistband and putting something in the glove compartment. That is another little tricky part of the story because normally every police officer know you stop a vehicle and the occupant start to reach for them waistband. You know say a definite can in that. Definite can in. So some of the things don't make no sense. And since Squash was released from jail in Florida, nobody really knows Squash whereabouts. And I have said before, in Florida, they are enforcing the warrant officer service, the warrant service officer program, right? And this program, when you post bail, deputies can hold you for up to 48 hours until ICE come and get you if there's a warrant from ICE for your arrest. And remember, if Squash is in the United States without any status, there would be a warrant for his arrest by ICE agent. So they would have held him for 48 hours. Well, Squash in the jail system right now, and they can't find him in the immigration system. Where is Squash right now? That is the big question. The fact that Squash was in communication with somebody and the FBI watch, is Squash in a private place being interrogated as to how he knows this person and what kind of dealings they have and if he can provide any information to help the FBI? People, a lot of questions. But despite all the question, one question still left unanswered. Where is Squash? That is the big question and nobody knows. Believe when me tell you that.